Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thanks so much for taking a little bit of time today to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. In today's video, I'm going to be chatting with you guys about cards I want reprinted. I can't remember if this is part 3 or part 4. I genuinely don't know, but I will list the other videos in the down bar below just in case you're interested. And I think it's just kind of fun just to chat about, these are things that I think I would really like to see. I think that would be really cool. Some of these are having to do with foils. I kind of have different reasons for why I want all of them reprinted. So let's hop into the video. The first card is Counterspell with this particular art right here. This is the Ice Age art. I believe this card has been printed a total of 2 times with this art in particular, and I do really enjoy it. I've been wanting to it just honestly, to me, nothing beats this art. And I feel I know people have very strong opinions about Counterspell art, but this one's just my favorite. I don't know. I just really like it. I really love the part of her hand where it's just all this black and purple. I just think this looks so incredibly cool. And I believe the times that this has been printed, it hasn't been printed in foil in this art. And I just really like it. So I'm sorry, no other art does it for me except for this one. I just really like it. So, and that's why I was thinking about it. Why don't you run Counterspell in any of your decks? It's oh, because I really don't care about the art in any of them. So that's the tea. Okay, let's chat next about a card that I think, this is one of those where I'm ooh, that's a good one. And that is, there's going to be a picture, I'm not even going to try to say her name, Merieke Ri Berit. Did I say that wrong? I apologize. I'm not a naming expert. She is awesome. She's been printed a total of 2 times. However, she's only been printed 1 time in foil. And can I just tell you guys, I'm very, very, very sad because this card was actually in time shifted. And I was oh my gosh, if they put her in time shift, this card in time shifted remastered, why not? Why would you not put her in there? It's a perfect, literally, she just fits absolutely perfect. Why did she not get a reprint? I don't know. I'm calling Wizards right now. I'm very upset. No, just kidding. I'm not calling Wizards right now. I am very upset though. She would have been literally perfect. She is so incredibly good. I have her in ladies and I don't have her in foil. To be honest with you guys, I'm really not a huge fan of the gold border. I'm just not a huge fan of it. Just give her a reprint. Her foil's also $20, which is high considering the actual card is $1 or so. Yeah, she's great. She needs a reprint. Oh my gosh, when I had originally created this list, I was the Medallion cards. I was oh yeah, these cards need a reprint. They're kind of expensive, and they've jumped in price. They are ridiculously priced. These cards have only ever been printed a total of 2 times, and they're originally in, I think, is this 7th edition? No, I don't know what that symbol is. The older ones. I don't know what the edition was, but then they were reprinted in Commander 2014. And it's why have these cards just not been printed? These Commander Legends, wasted opportunity. Why didn't you print them in Commander Legends? Then we could have got them in foil. I'm just saying. These cards are incredibly good. They are an absolute EDH staple, and this card definitely needs to be reprinted. I don't know. Commander Legends 2, come on, Wizards, get on it. This is a very quintessential commander card that everyone should have, and it right now is just financially very inaccessible for a lot of people. I looked at the prices and some of these are $40, which is ridiculous. Needs a reprint. I feel very strongly about that. And some of these are selfish, the whole Counterspell, that's a me problem. This is that card is ridiculously overpriced and it just literally reprinted. Why not? Okay. Okay, this is another selfish card for me, and that is Serra's Guardian. Serra's Guardian. This card's awesome. I feel a lot of people actually don't know what this card does, or probably have never heard about this card. This card's been printed a total of 2 times, and it's actually never been printed in foil. It's also been printed in the core sets, and I feel a lot of times those can kind of get thrown under the rug. I think they're just not as well I don't know what it is, but anyways, Serra's Guardian is an incredibly great card. I run this card in sorry, not ladies. Maybe I should run this card in ladies. Oh, maybe I should. She is really good. Maybe I will. I'm going to consider that. But I run her in Avacyn, and she's so good. First off, she's got Vigilance and Flying, and then she just gives everything up Vigilance. I think that is so great. I feel and I just talked about this, and I'm going to talk about this in an upcoming video. I think this video is going up first. I'm pre-recording a lot of videos right now. So, I think Vigilance is a very underutilized mechanic a lot of times. I feel people are yeah, whatever. I think Vigilance is very good, and I don't think people should downplay it because I really like it. She is kind of a lot of mana, but to me, I think it's totally worth it just to give everything Vigilance, and she's also got Flying and Vigilance on top of that for 5 mana. 5/5 flyer, which is great. So she's awesome. I love her. Oh my gosh, Diabolic Intent. Okay, I should have picked this card up in foil. Like, I should not have waited to get this card in foil, because the one that I'm showing you, the non-foil Battle Bond, is like, this card's like $25 right now. This card has been printed a total of 3 times. However, we don't talk about the invocations. We don't talk about them on this channel. If I could set Magic cards on literal fire, the invocations would be at the top of my... Think about every card that you might hate in Magic. You might be like, that card's terrible. I hate it. If I could burn every copy, I would burn every single copy of invocations. They are terrible, and I hate them, and they are a disgrace. Hate it, hate it, hate it. You cannot read a single word on those cards. What were they thinking? So even though you're like, this card's been printed 3 times. Nope, it's been printed 2 times. But Tracy, nope, it's been printed 2 times. This is also a very good art. The Battle Bond art, oh my god, so great. Who does this? Josue Hernandez? I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, but this card is so good. It is such a good tutor. And I honestly, this is funny because it does say sacrifice, and that is a lot of times not a downside. I feel like there's like this thing where they're like, you gotta sack a creature, that sounds terrible, and you're like, I just have a death trigger when I sack my thing that does this other thing. It's like, cool. It's like, I'll sack my dude, I don't care. So yeah, card's great. Love it, needs a reprint. Okay, let's chat about Urza's Incubator. So this is like a little bit selfish, but also a little bit like, I think this card just should get a reprint. It's been printed a total of 3 times. However, it's only been foil once, because the other 2 times it's been in a Commander like Legends, or like Commander like set. So it's only been printed a total of foil 1 time, and that foil is like $150, which is crazy. So I'd really love to see this card being reprinted. The foil is stunning. Those older borders, oh my god, literally have my heart. Remember, I like didn't used to like older borders, and now I'm like, love them. This card's great. You choose a creature type, and then creatures of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. This does impact other people, but like the likelihood of you playing the same tribe as someone else is pretty unlikely. The only exception to that I would say is like humans. If you're playing like a human tribal deck, this might impact, because like humans is like the #1 most popular like thing in Magic. So like the likelihood of like, that impacting it. However, I will say I have played, this was the dumbest thing I've probably ever done in Magic. That's a lie. It was a stupid decision though. I was playing, my friend also had Angels, then I was playing Urzas Incubator, and then ended up helping her, and that was just a giant mess. Anyways, won't be doing that again. Anyways, Urzas Incubator, great Magic card. Needs a reprint. Let's go. It's so funny. I was like jotting this down, and this is an unselfish card. Unholy Grotto should get a reprint. I actually, regardless of how this card would be reprinted, I would want it in this, because it's only ever been printed 1 time in Onslaught. And to me, the really like confusing thing about this card is like, why haven't they just put this in a set where there are like zombie tribal? My thought is if they did that, then zombie tribal would just become really dumb and broken in like standard. But just print this in like something that's not standard legal. Or like, what are they concerned about this card with if they think it's overpowered? Like, why hasn't this card been printed before? I don't understand. It's very confusing. I feel like this would also be in like a really good like supplemental like thing. I feel like this card also like build a like zombie like commander deck or something like that, and then just like a precon or something, or just like whatever, and then just throw this card in there. Like, why not just put it in there? I'm very confused about this. What card hasn't been reprinted? But y'all know Onslaught foils, absolute jam. Onslaught foils are bust. They're absolutely some of the most pretty foils in the game. I love them. This card is absolutely great. It's also by John Avon, one of my fave artists. I say that about like literally everyone, but like, come on, card's great. A lot of people don't know what this card does. I need it. I don't own one because I want to get an odd foil one from Onslaught, but they're like very expensive. So that's a me problem though. Speaking of me problems, I want the Enlightened Tutor printed with this art. Howard Lyon, just, man, crushing it with all these like great artists. I really, really, really love this art. I know this card has been printed a bunch, but I really like this art. This art has only ever been printed 1 time, even though the most recent time that this was printed, it was a Judge promo, and I like that art as well, but there's something about this art I just really loved giving anyone like else like Throne of Eldraine vibes. I don't know, it's just like super cool. It's just a very, very, very pretty card, and I like this card. This card's also just very expensive. Even just for the non-foil, this card is just expensive, so I think this is definitely a card that can get reprinted. Okay, let's chat about Rite of Replication. This card has been printed a total of 3 times. However, it has only been printed foil 1 time, I believe, in Zendikar. And it's fairly expensive for Zendikar since it's been only printed 1 time in foil. It's about 20 bucks for the foil, so I think this card would be great as a reprint. I also think that they could reasonably print this card in things, and I don't think it would break things, so I don't think, if that's like a concern, I don't think you need to be concerned about this card in that sense, because it is so much mana for like a format like Standard that I don't think this would be like applicable there. That's always why, like, whenever I'm like, why haven't this printed? Then I'm like, oh, this would break Standard. But like with this, like, what are they gonna math? 9 mana? No, people are not going to be abusing this in Standard. If they are, please let me know in a comment below, because that would really blow my mind. I don't know things about Standard, but that to me seems like very high, you know? They could print this in like Modern Horizons 2. Like, no one's running this card in Modern. Like, come on. But if for Commander, this card's awesome. I love Rite of Replication. I've always just really liked this card. You put a token on the battlefield, it's a copy of it, and then if it was caged, you put 5 of those tokens. My favorite thing to do with this card is I run this card in Merfolk, and my favorite thing to do with this card is put it on one of the make a token of the buff Merfolk that gives like +1/+1, like Master of the Pearl Trident or whatever, and then you make like 5 of them, and then you have the base one, so then you have 6, and then all your Merfolk get +6/+6, which is like really dumb. That's like my favorite thing to do with this card. Good card. I really enjoy this card. And the last card is Attrition. Attrition has been printed a total of 3 times. However, very similarly to the other card that we talked about, Diabolic Intent, is it got printed 1 time as an invocation, so hypothetically it's been printed 2 times. Commander and Urza's Destiny. I have to say, I would really love if they're doing more like remastered stuff, I would love a like revisiting of like the Urza's block or whatever. I think that would just be really cool. There's a lot of really awesome cards in like those 3, Destiny, Saga, whatever the other one is, I don't know. But anyways, this card is really, really, really good. And I feel like what does stop some people from playing this card is just that it is, actually it's not that expensive. This card's about like $7 or $8, which is very affordable. But then as a selfish thing, the Urza's Destiny foil is like $50, which is a lot of money for that. This card's awesome though. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Whoa. Do you ever like look at like prices of like conditions of cards and it jumps? So like the damage foil is like $20, but the lightly played is like 40, and you're like, oh, wow, that's wild. Anyways, this card's awesome. I really like this. I think if you're playing Black King Commander, like, and you're playing like Graveyard Recursion, like, it's so good because then you just sack it and you can bring it back with one of your things, and you get to destroy target non-black creature. Like, this card's awesome. This card is so incredibly good, and I'm like, just put this in. Well, I guess they can't make this Standard, right? Is Urza's Destiny? I have no idea. No, not Standard. What? Modern. I guess Urza's Destiny is modern. I don't know. I can't keep. I'm so out of touch with the format. I have no idea. But seriously, like for Commander, this is like a great Commander card that I think they could just like slot into something, and I just want it in foil. So, you know, a lot of this is just like me being selfish and being like, reprint these things, I want them, but you know. Anyways, I'd really like to know what you guys think. Cards that are cards that I want reprinted part 3 or 4, I can't remember. I actually don't have plans for my next one because I feel like I have to be really conscious of when I put these lists together, because like a lot of them are like, oh yeah, like this new set comes out, and then like some of these things like actually do come true. So yeah, I'd really like to know what cards you guys want reprinted in a comment below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.